The Power of Gratitude and Emotional Balance in Life Lecture 13592 Question. When something good happens or when something I've been hoping for comes true, I sometimes get overly excited and emotional. However, I've noticed that this excitement often leads to things not going smoothly afterward, causing problems or failure. Some self-development books mention that becoming too emotionally attached to an outcome disrupts balance, preventing the desired result from being achieved. They suggest maintaining emotional stability without being overly affected by ups and downs. I'm curious, does becoming emotionally elevated actually affect the outcome of an event? Answer. A person who consistently studies and cultivates themselves does not get overly excited even when something good happens. They appreciate it in proportion to its significance. However, if someone lacks such grounding and suddenly experiences something good, they may become excessively excited and lose control, leading to mistakes. When something good happens, one should acknowledge it with gratitude and learn to manage their emotions. If you become too euphoric, problems may follow. Those who know how to manage both good and bad situations do not encounter major difficulties. People who can handle good fortune well tend to receive even more good opportunities. How do these opportunities come? They are given in multiples. After managing one's emotions, the final response should always be, "Thank you." Receiving good fortune is something to be grateful for. One must express gratitude, not only to those around them but also to nature itself. Even if we thank someone personally or appreciate our environment, ultimately, we are thanking nature. Those who truly understand gratitude do not react with excessive excitement. Instead, they deeply appreciate their fortune and manage their emotions. Such individuals are continuously given even more good things, often in multiples. The multiplier effect of receiving blessings can be as much as tenfold. This is referred to as the tenfold multiplier. On the other hand, if one makes a mistake and does not reflect on it, they may lose things in multiples. Energy is drained from them, leading to difficulties. This is how problems continue to grow. How can we recognize when we've made a mistake? If something makes us feel even slightly uneasy or uncomfortable, it means we've done something wrong. However, if we refuse to acknowledge our mistake and instead blame others or our circumstances, we invite even greater misfortune. Even if we are unaware of our exact mistake, we should acknowledge the possibility that we have done something wrong and strive to correct it. There is no need to confess to a specific person. Just sincerely say to nature, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I will try to improve." When we do this, hardships do not escalate. Instead, things become smooth and resolved, and eventually, we are given rewards. Why? Because we made an effort. Human efforts are never ignored. Those who genuinely strive will always receive gifts in this principle. The idea that efforts go unnoticed is simply not true. When something good happens, it is because you have worked for it. Be grateful. True gratitude is gratitude toward nature, and this is also gratitude toward God. When we express gratitude to all, we are ultimately expressing gratitude to God. As we continue to experience more good things and express gratitude, even more blessings come our way, and this cycle helps us grow. South Korea is currently facing difficulties because we have developed a culture of complaints and dissatisfaction. However, what do we truly have to complain about? Decades ago, we lived in extreme poverty and struggled to survive. Now, we live in significantly better conditions, yet people continue to complain. A society built on complaints cannot thrive. Our nation must actively stop the habit of complaining. If something happens, we must remind ourselves, there must be a reason for this. Let's think carefully before reacting. This is the kind of mindset we need in today's era. Continuing to complain will only bring more negativity. We, as humans, were never given the right to complain by God. There is no such entitlement. Likewise, we were not given the right to judge and forgive others. Instead, we are meant to reflect on why something is happening and seek understanding. If we face difficulties, rather than blaming others, we should reflect on ourselves. If someone criticizes or insults you, say, "Thank you." This may not be easy at first. When you are in the moment, it can be difficult to accept. However, after some time passes, you may begin to see that their words were actually teaching you something valuable. When you reach that realization, you can sincerely say, I didn't understand before, but now I do. Thank you. At that point, such negative experiences will no longer occur in your life. This is the kind of wisdom we must develop. Previously, people did not receive such education, but now is the era of learning. This is the era of character education, an era where people must learn to live correctly. The power of gratitude and emotional balance in life. Simplified summary. 1. The importance of emotional control. If you get too excited when something good happens, you may make mistakes or things may go wrong. Staying calm and managing emotions allows for even better opportunities to come. 2. The power of gratitude. When good things happen, say, thank you, and express gratitude to nature and the environment. Those who are grateful receive even greater blessings, following the 10x multiplier rule. If mistakes are not reflected upon, difficulties may increase tenfold. 3. How to handle mistakes. If you feel uncomfortable or uneasy, it likely means you made a mistake. Instead of blaming others or your surroundings, say, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I will try my best. Acknowledging mistakes prevents bigger problems and brings new opportunities. 4. Stop complaining. One reason South Korea is facing difficulties is the increase in complaints and dissatisfaction. Life has improved significantly compared to the past, so a mindset of gratitude is necessary. Society should move towards self-reflection instead of complaining. 5. Don't blame others. Reflect on yourself when challenges arise. Ask, why did this happen, instead of blaming others. Even if someone insults you, responding with, thank you, will ultimately bring good things. Everything happens for a reason, and those who live rightly will always be rewarded. Conclusion. We are in the era of character education. Now is the time to learn how to live correctly. By managing emotions, practicing gratitude, and avoiding complaints, one can continue to grow and improve. I wrote the story based on the above article title, The Law of Gratitude. Lee Han had always been an unlucky person. In elementary school, he would get stomach aches on the day of important exams. In high school, he missed a scholarship opportunity by just one question. He couldn't get into the college major he wanted, and even after finding a job, a series of mistakes made his work life difficult. He always thought, why am I the only one with such bad luck? One day, he stumbled upon a small bookstore and found a book titled, The Law of Gratitude. The cover was old and worn, and the author's name was unfamiliar. However, one phrase caught his eye: those who practice gratitude attract fortune. Curious, he opened the book. The book contained the following passage: when something good happens, do not become overly excited. Instead, quietly express gratitude. Likewise, when something bad happens, do not blame others, look inward and reflect. Those who practice gratitude will receive even greater blessings, while those who constantly complain will face misfortune multiplied. Skeptical but intrigued, Lee Han decided to start expressing gratitude for even the smallest things. He was thankful for waking up in the morning, for the coolness of rainy days, and even for his boss scolding him, thinking, this is an opportunity to learn. At first, it felt forced, but over time, he noticed his heart becoming lighter. Then, an incredible transformation began. One day, he was unexpectedly given a chance to present at a meeting. Normally, he would have been too nervous and made mistakes, but with a mindset of gratitude, he prepared calmly and delivered his presentation smoothly. This caught the attention of his boss, who assigned him to an important project. The project was a success, and he was promoted. But Lee Han didn't become arrogant. I must not get carried away. I should simply be grateful, he reminded himself. Even after his promotion, he continued to work diligently. Then, one event changed his life forever. As he was getting off the subway one day, he noticed a man in a hurry drop his briefcase. Lee Han quickly picked it up and returned it to him. The man, out of breath, said, "Thank you so much. This briefcase contains documents that my future depends on." That man turned out to be the CEO of a major corporation. Impressed by Lee Han's sincerity, he offered him a position at his company. At first, Lee Han couldn't believe it, but he decided to take the opportunity. From that moment on, he lived with even greater gratitude. There were still challenges along the way, but he no longer complained. Instead, whenever hardships arose, he reflected on himself and grew stronger. And each time, even better opportunities came his way, as if by fate. A few years later, he wrote a book about his experience, titled The Law of Gratitude. His book inspired countless people, spreading a message of hope and positivity. Li Han finally realized something. It wasn't that he had been unlucky, it was his mindset that had been the problem. Gratitude alone had completely transformed his life. His final words were, "The difference between a lucky person and an unlucky one lies in the power of gratitude."